Hello BookTube. This is a moving update. As you can see, I am in a completely new location. I have moved. The move started on Monday and continued into Tuesday, and on Wednesday, me and my mother were beginning to settle down and start to get this new apartment in some order. So the move was not entirely pleasant. In fact, it stank. Um, and particularly in regards to my library, it was disastrous. I had a ton of book boxes to move, as well as my bookcases. Unfortunately, four of my bookcases did not survive the trip. Um, the two bookcases in the hall, that big black one and the thinner one beside it, as well as the two black bookcases at the end of the history and manga walls, uh, fell apart. Well, the big black one and the two history manga wall bookcases fell apart. And the other one unfortunately has no shelves because my brother forgot that one of them actually physically managed to survive, so he threw out all of the shelves. So I am currently down to only a few bookcases, although I have ordered some new bookcases, so they will be coming in early next week, and I will be trying to figure out how to put them together in a rather confined space. Um, Yesterday, I started to put my library together with the bookcases I had. The cookbooks have been unpacked and are now where they belong in the bookcase in the living room, which is largely used for my mother's knickknacks. Um, for some reason, we were approved for a 3-bedroom apartment, and so the spare bedroom is being used as a library space because there is no way that I could get the entirety of my library in this room. I unpacked a few boxes of the classics, canonical, modern, and contemporary fiction, poetry, and drama, and all of my history collection, and also two, in a bit, boxes of my manga collection. So how my library is going to work is my plan for the library space is to use that double open-ended shelving unit, or those two open shelving units from Walmart as a double-sided bookcase, or two double-sided bookcases in the center of the room. I'd initially planned to put my history collection there, with the history books being on the shelves and then on top. So I would have 20 bookcases or 20 bookshelves. And it worked out, and there was a bit of space at the end. Unfortunately, where the books are, I was afraid that the bookcases or the books at the very top could potentially eventually slip over and fall into the window, which would be rather bad. So I decided instead of using those shelves for history, I would use them instead for science fiction and fantasy, and perhaps the assorted books if there's enough space for that, which I'm pretty sure there will be. So instead, I moved my history collection to that one big bookcase that it's kind of squat, so I could put a second bookcase on top of it. And then the one bookcase that is open-ended as well, that was at the end of the new history wall at the old department. And so I've got that double-sided as well. So my history collection went on there, and then on that one bookcase that I stacked on the other one. So the middle, so if you kind of remember back to my old history wall, you had that, my newest bookcase, and then this weird bookcase that actually folds up. I did not remember that. And one of the ones that my grandfather built on top of it. That's the one I've added to the history collection. So there's a batch of history, and then the window, and then a bit more history. I'd originally planned to put classics, canonical, modern, and contemporary fiction, poetry, and drama on that last bookcase. But when I decided to switch history, I moved those books over to a different bookcase. And so I got all of the classics, canonical, modern, and contemporary fiction, poetry, and drama that I've unpacked over to there. And so my plan is so there are two bookcases coming in, one of which I ordered, which is fairly large. It's going to be 47 inches, so almost 4 feet wide, and 60, I think almost 6 feet tall. And so that one is going to be coming in here to join my manga collection. And the other bookcase, depending if I can get it in here, then I will, or if my manga needs that, then I'll add it to here. If not, then that probably might go for more classics, canonical, modern, and contemporary fiction, poetry, and drama. And then if I need another bookcase, then I'll pick another bookcase up as needed. It will probably be more like the newest bookcase I have rather than one of the other ones, because those bookcases they were easier to build and much more sturdy. Now, of course, a lot of that could also be the fact that I'm not very good at putting things together. I really should ask for help. Hopefully, I will get that help. Anyway, so since this is my return to BookTube after a few days' absence, my plans for today is I'm going to tackle the science fiction and fantasy and assorted books. And I think I'm going to maybe try to do a TBR or a August reading plan, although I don't quite know. I don't really have much of a theme. I would like to have been able to do my back to school reading project, but unfortunately, two of the subjects, if you're focusing more on like fiction or not nonfiction, or it would be easy that two of the subjects, math and science, as well as a computer science elective, argue for science fiction and fantasy. And I'm really not in the mood for science fiction and fantasy. Although, as I put the books up, maybe that will change. We shall see. I will think about it during the next few hours as I continue to put the house in order. And also, I will try to do a Poetry Thursday video and a tag video today. So I'm going to try for a bevy of videos, and in part, I think my goal is to try to figure out a good filming location. So right now I am filming at 6:07 a.m. Central Time. So I tried to do a similar update video yesterday, which for some reason I was going to upload today. And it kind of looked a bit washed out from my end, although sometimes I think I see things a bit darker than maybe actually ultimately appears on, like, when it's viewable, because my computer is, for some reason, the contrast is a bit darker than, and I always have a trouble fixing that. But anyway, so I'm going to experiment with various filming locations and trying things out to see what works, and also avoid any potential creepiness of, like, doors in the frame or windows in the frame. So anyway, I'll keep working on that over the next few days, and hopefully there will be well, if there is, I'm going to aim for weekly reads tomorrow, even though it's, at least right now, only going to be 3 books, because I didn't read anything on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. I was busy getting the house in order. And as far as the manga tour is concerned, it's going to have to wait until next week when I get the new bookcases in, so that if I know exactly how much manga I can get where, and have an idea of how I want to organize it. I do have that newest bookcase is largely filled with manga, but I still have a lot in boxes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them down, and, like, the manga that I've already shelved, take them down and organize them by series, and then sort of house them once I have a clear idea of what this part of my library is going to look like physically, and then, okay, so these series can go here, those there, and just really work it out how I want to do it. And once it's settled, I will film the final bit of my 2024 library tour and put the books back on the shelves. Or I guess I could just put the books on the shelves and then do the tour, which might be a bit quicker than having that bit of dead space of me moving back and forth off camera. So I'll figure it out. Anyway, BookTube, that's it for now. I will be back later today. So until then, thank you, have a great morning, and stay safe.